Okay, so now we're looking at a situation where we have an opponent who opens with a 2-3. So it's very common for people to slip the 2, and that puts you in the pocket. You throw the 2, and then you throw the 3, and I either block the hook or I might beat him to the punch. What this tells me about an opponent is that they're more of a puncher than a boxer. When they dispense with the jab and they just open with a 2, they're usually going to get a little closer so they can reach you with that 2, or maybe a lot closer, and they're expecting you to punch so they can hit you on the counter. So that's the kind of opponent I'm facing when he opens with a 2-3. But the problem is when he throws a 2-3, if he expects me to be here, he might feint the 2 just to get me to slip it and then rush the 3 and get me before I can do anything. Because he's smart. He's looking at what I do and saying, well, is there a way for me to get him sooner? So this is the mind game that goes on. It's a tactical game goes on in your head when you're boxing. Is you've got the difference between a boxer and a puncher, and the way he approaches me a little closer to throw that 2, because he wants to get it done early. He wants to throw the 2 and do some damage, and not stay on the outside and work his way in using the jab. Okay, so now we established the first thing we did was he throws the 2-3, and instead of slipping it and being predictable in that respect, I parry the 2 because a combination 2 is going to be a shorter 2. When he throws the 2-3, this 2 has to pull back so he can throw the 3. So if he's opening with that, I expect that he's going to follow a 3, and it's a combination 2. So the combination 2, I can parry it. I don't have to slip it. And sometimes if you slip a short 2, you barely get out of the way before he's already following it up. Right? So you got to move all this. Even if I just do this, instead I'm just going to keep my hands up. He throws a 2-3, and I'm going to parry the 2, and I'll block the 3. And then I throw my 2, 3, 2. A little far away. So when he throws a 2-3, again, I can parry, block, and off of that, I'm already stepping in. 2, 3. Yeah, you're too far away. I can't reach you. Okay, so that's one thing, is to think about parrying the 2 instead of slipping it. And also, as I block, I can hit with that same side arm while I'm stepping into the 2. That's a nice thing. Because when I'm blocking a 3, well, let's hit the 2-3 first. Parry, I could be here and already stepping in, and it's going to mean my 2 will land sooner than if I hang back on it and then shift my weight into it. But then the question comes up, like, well, is there something else I can do that even short circuits that? And the answer is yes. When he throws the 2, if I parry it, I can do a step across and a wide 3 right off the bat, beating him to the punch, because he can't throw the 3, remind you, until he finishes his 2. Well, if his 2 is still hanging out there and I just knocked it down, boom, then I'm stepping across 2, which means I'm outside the arc of his 3. Well, guess what? I've got a nice counter hook there. I added some power and reach to it by stepping across at an angle, not just to the side. By diagonal step, boom. And he probably didn't see it coming because his shoulder from the 2 is still forward, and this has a tendency to blind him to things that sneak up and come right over the shoulder and get him on the jaw. So a wide 3, a wide hook, will get through off of his 2 before he can land his 3. And then you have just structurally defeated his timing. He can't get a 2-3 off before you do a parry 3 because it's too quick. You made it so short and so neat. When he throws a 2, it's like boom, boom, right there. And my head is outside, I'll remind you, the arc of his 3, which means I'm safe. When you angle off like that, you're out of the way of hooks, you're out of the way of overhands, when you go under them and outside, things like that. So there you have it. We have this whole like 3-level way of understanding a 2-3. Okay, he throws a 2-3, I slip, I might block, or I might slip, and I might roll under. Okay, that's fine when I want to get in. I don't always want to get in. Maybe he's the kind of fighter I can't get in on very well. Maybe I'm tough, like I am. I don't like to get under those punches. So then I say, okay, I will slip, and I'll hook, or I'll block, and I'll hook if he's quick on his hook. Okay, fine. I still got in, but I didn't get under. Is there a way to do it from the outside? Yes. I can parry, block, and I can hit like we just did. Then I say, is there a shorter way to even kind of confuse him? That's the last one I showed. He throws a 2-3, parry, boom, right? And what he'll do is, instead of throwing his 3, he'll just put it out there for me to hit it. We will assume he threw a 3, but it's like this. Just throw the 2, parry, and there it is. Now from here, my weight is here. I could step in and follow up as well. It doesn't mean that's the end of it. It could just be the beginning. But nevertheless, you beat his 2-3, you hit him on the outside, you parried his cross, you got out of the way of his hook, so you accounted for everything he could throw, and you caught him on that count.